hopefully now won't be an issue. Sorry about that, everybody. Was having some technical difficulties. Oh, please tell me it's alright. Okay. Alright. Alright. Jay says you're in. Says you're in, but I don't know what's going on with this stupid phone, mate. It's not even showing me the people that are coming in or joining. What's going on? Okay, so show me one. Hey. Having some technical difficulties. It's not seeming to work at all. And I don't know why. Alright, show my guys in, but what's happening? Okay. Alright, Jay, let me go live on yours because I have no idea why this is not working. Hello?
Hey, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I don't know why it's not working. I can't see you, but I can hear you just fine.
I'm not sure. It might be my friend might be logged into my Insta. So I'm just seeing if he's logged in. Let's see if that's the issue.
Because now I've logged off everything. I can hear you. Again, I've not had this issue, so I don't know what's going on. It's weird, this one.
Bro, I've been like honestly, racking my brains like what?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it should be just a seamless connection. No worries. Yeah, it's I can hear you just fine. It's just not loading your face.
Yeah. Let's see if I can update. Ah, there we go.
Ah, there we go. There we go. So what happened? Did he log off?
I think he logged off of it. So he was on it and he logged off of it.
Yes. See, it was your fault then, not mine.
Yeah, it was my fault. Apologies, man. Apologies. What's happening?
I just want everybody to know, man. That's all love, man. What's good, man? What's going on with you? How you been?
Bro, up and down, man. Up and down. To be honest, if I'm gonna be authentic, then I need to be like it's been tough. And it's not just been tough for me, but it's been tough to see people suffering in the way they are.
What's been going on? Talk to me. What's been going on?
On a personal perspective, I've lost quite a few people through COVID. I've lost 4 people that I directly know and 2 extras that are indirectly, like people that are close to me. So that's been quite tough. So that's 6 in total. Plus there's a few other people that I know have had losses, which anything that impacts the family impacts me. So, I mean, what's been really key is seeing like what's important right now, which is health, protection, and your immunity within your body. So that's been really like a vivid learning for me, like what's when it gets to survival mode, what do we need to really consider? So I think emotionally it's taken a toll on me, but I've been doing what I need to do. So eating well, doing what I need to do in terms of like meditation. But obviously when you have a multitude of deaths and then you've got the way you want to, plus that some of these deaths could have been prevented if certain services were open. Like one of our friends could have got like a referral to get help, but they're not really taking referrals right now, so they ended up doing something that led to their death. Another friend was killed, not killed, but we don't know yet, but she was found dead and it was foul play. All these little things that happen in that you can't really say goodbye, which is and then my mum's been ill, my dad's been like ill in a different way. So if I'm going to be authentic, I've got to be real. Like, people see the positive side, but actually you've got to ride the wave of going through the struggles and taking. But what's been good for me is this gives me energy to like really take in, okay, what am I taking, learning from this? Whereas before I'd get stressed out and drink and get all self-destructive. Now it's about actually, what can I do? What can I take out of this, which is loving, and that we can give out as a gift to the world around us.
I'm so sorry to hear that, man. I mean, you know, you don't expect, I know you hear it on the news, but you know, the whole kind of locality, but you don't expect it to happen to those that you know personally. So, you know, it's a shame that these things have been going on. And I guess being around all of that situation, I guess so much death, unfortunately, in this, what is it kind of doing to your mindset on top of everything? Like,
I mean, for me, there's an element of like, what's the truth? So, you know, you see all these different contrary set of information going out. And I work in the mayor's office, of course, so I see what's being put out. We have plans of what we need to do to support communities. But then you have an element of like, wait, what's going on in the hospitals? When I'm working with, like, supporting my mum going into the hospital who's suffering, and seeing how certain hospitals are dealing with people, and you're like, that's not even general protocol. So why would this be like this in an emergency? You know, the people are suffering. And yeah, just seeing things like Nightingale got billed 4,000 capacity. That got built
for nothing, didn't it? Nothing. Ultimately.
19 people used it, and it's like, hey, like, what is that about? Seeing that, I'm just observing, you know, the police not wearing masks. You've got politicians telling you to wear masks, but they're not wearing masks. So you're not able to model what they're asking you to do because they're not doing it. So for me, the truth has been revealed through observation, and that's what is really vivid for me. It's like, you can't bullcrap people now, because you're obviously not scared of something because you're not following through. If it was me and I had a virus, I'd be saying, hey, people, take this serious. I'll be having my mask on. I'll be doing what I need to do, so people can look at me and go, he's serious. He's the Prime Minister. He's serious.
And
do you know what I mean?
The whole Dominic Cummings situation and what he's been doing, and do you feel like now, with respect, you work closely in the mayor's office. For those that don't know, Jay, I'll let you take the floor. Sorry, to tell people what you do.
So I work with the Violence Reduction Unit. So our key aims is to reduce violence across London, but more about providing opportunities for people. And our focus is young people. So when people think about violence, they think about young people. But we have to be very clear that most violence is done by adults, not young people. But young people get the blame.
That, right? People forget that.
Without a doubt, most violence is done by adults, but young people get the blame. But young people have the fear. They have the fear of violence, which means they end up carrying the knives and getting blamed for doing things because of what's been imprinted on them from, you know, governments, you know, their gangs fighting each other, from schools, they're teaching you, from football teams, from everywhere. Everywhere's about competing.
What is, not even in the sense of an age term, but what is considered an older person or grown up or a young person? How is their legal term or way that you consider?
So they say, you know, young people is like 16 to 24, 25. But when you're 18, you're an adult. But to be fair, a lot of these youngsters are run by guys that are older than these ages. Do you know what I mean? So, and we know that, but there's also, I want to take blame out of things, like, you know, blaming these guys and that guy for their own trauma. And this is a generational trauma thing, ancestral trauma. There's a whole element of slavery, and there's a whole element of systematic stuff, which is has to be recognized. It's not about pointing fingers. We're not going to turn the tides by pointing fingers. What we're going to do is people are going to drown further if we can't continue to do that. It's about recognizing recognizing and celebrating each other in different ways. So, like, you know, with this whole black agenda and people fighting for black rights, well, can we also celebrate each other? Because you might be fighting for rights, but then you're fighting each other. That doesn't, you're not gonna strive in that. So it's about us standing up for what we do good, but also having those battles in the negative arena if we need to. But we can't do that if we're also battling each other. That's why we're weak, if that makes sense.
And it's kind of like the whole J Hus song, you're on there, respect violence.
Yeah.
Right, so it reminds me a little bit of what you're saying. And
do you know what I mean?
I'll be honest with you. You're someone that works in the mayor's office, right? So you have the
Yeah.
first-hand in-depth. And I guess for me and everybody else who's not the most trusting of the media, you
Yeah.
know, media's, we all know the influence is just to sway public opinion. You know, media's whole entire purpose is just to sway public opinion. It's not to
Yeah.
inform. So I guess for someone on the front lines, and this is something I can learn from, what do you
Yeah.
feel is really going on? How are they really handling this whole COVID situation? And
Okay.
how are they dealing with that while dealing with other stuff that's not being recorded, like, or being recognized on news, like gang violence still, and all these other things that have been forgotten about?
Yeah, that makes sense. So we have to recognize that, first of all, the mayor's office doesn't have no real political power. So the money that is given to the mayor's office, which is for London, is given by the government, and they govern how that's, like,
of course,
we decide how it's spent, but they're saying, look, we're giving you this amount of money on London, kind of thing. And then Sadiq Khan has to go out and try and spend it in the wisest way possible. So sometimes Sadiq, like with the whole transport thing, he's being blamed for it. But then, you know, there's an element of, yeah, he could have pushed back a bit, but then he has to do a deal which they're saying, if you don't have this, you get nothing. And you have to say, well, what's his poison? Do you know what I mean? So it's like, we're all fed perspectives, you know, and there's a complete truth, which is a multiple amount. And people are quick to judge based on perspective. And so what at the moment is just perspective. When it comes to the government, they don't have a perspective because they're bullcrapping us. They're giving us information that's contradictory to our own beings. Our minds are now saying this isn't resonating. But with the mayor's office, and particularly where we're working at the Violence Reduction Unit, about looking at how we can bring communities together, there's a massive amount of work that's gone into funding local communities, trying to make it easier to access funding, trying to cut out a lot of these political processes that we've had that really slow funding, like, you know, getting things done. So we've been looking at how we can inspire communities through the COVID in terms of the public health approach, like, you know, health side of things. What's the impact on people who are in poverty? What can we do to promote services? And people that know me know that if I know about something, I'm spreading it. That's what it's about. So and my particular focus has been about young people's voice and what their feelings are within this time. And obviously, I think people overlook that, you know, there's a lot of people that are going through bereavements at the moment and suffering and just trying to cope. And their coping mechanism might be having a little bit of weed or drinking a drink, or, you know, like sabotaging their health at the same time. So it's like, these are the underlying things that we need to speak about. Why can't we have a platform where people can have honest conversations about what they feel is going on? And then, you know, the government says, actually, we can understand you feel like that, but this is why we made our decision. The problem is it's just being fed. You can only make 6, like today, like, you can only have 6 people in your garden. So what about all those people in the supermarket that you're around? Do you know what I mean?
More than 6 in a garden space.
Question, right, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? So at City Hall, what our plans are to implement what Sadiq will have a plan of like what we generally need to do. And the workers within City Hall will have to go out and implement and speak to communities and make sure that it's sensitive to individual communities. And we, in the Violence Reduction Unit, we don't have no say in anything. All we have to do is try and influence people to do the best work they can do within their communities. The one thing we do have is...
Are you happy with the type of people that they're going out to send to speak to these communities? Because again, representation is everything. So are they? What are the types of people that are going out relaying these messages, and what kind of work are they doing to show that?
I think there's a little bit of a misconception that, you know, the people in City Hall they're not connected. If you go into City Hall and you see how diverse the work streams are, you would be like, whoa, you would be very surprised. So I actually think that the current going into City Hall and seeing how the setup, it's amazing to see how diverse the work streams are and how connected a lot of the people are to the issues and solutions. Me personally, for instance, I've been employed to take charge in terms of the Violence Reduction Unit's Youth Action Group. I've got direct experience of violence as a victim and someone who's been involved in things. Do you know what I mean? So and I'm still affected to it to this day. So who better to, you know, actually be involved in and bring people into the building that have never been in the building before, currently working with people from all over London to bring them into the building. And these are not guys that are just like you know, the token type of people. These are guys who are involved in road,
really out here on the field, knowing
really out here on the field, and who can actually tell you what that feels like to be, and without it being a tokenistic exercise. It's about actually, bro, you want to be involved in change, like, here's your opportunity. And we're seeing things, and like we've got one of our guys who's working in prisons, doing surveys in prisons, 2,000 surveys, and it making a major difference. But you wouldn't know about that because it's all perspective, it's all a lens, and the lens is what people want to see. What I need to stress is that, you know, these times is about causing confusion. So when you confuse people,
is that? Why is it about now causing confusion?
Because when you can cause confusion, you basically put fear in people, and then rather than looking at what's at the top, you're fighting with each other. Don't go outside, go outside. You're wrong, you're wrong. So when you're focused on each other, you don't get to look at the bigger picture and be like, hey.
It's as if they all follow the same book. I remember there's this book I read, and I always keep mentioning this, right? I know for a fact it's on the Eton, you know, the Eton school. It's on Eton's curriculum. It's called Crowd Study of a Popular Mind. It was written in 1845 by a man called Gustav Le Bon. And he pretty much explains all the techniques to how to create divide and conquer, which to create a powerful ruling class. And two of the things he said, here are the two key things to break society as you know it and to have control of society. Introduced a brand new concept as to how humans came about. So, you know, we always have that revolutionary argument of Charles Darwin's that, and introduce a find a fast-growing religion, institution, belief, and try to attack it as much as you can. Look at Islam. Getting attacked. It's the fastest growing religion in the world, and it's getting attacked on a day-to-day basis. And
there you go.
Hearing all of that, and then hearing what you're saying now, that their intention is to create a divide, nothing really changes, is it?
No, it just changes what they talk about. If you see it as well, it's so easy to predict where it's going in terms of vaccines, and you know, hey, if you don't take a vaccine, you can't go on holiday. If you don't take a vaccine, we don't think you buy a car because you might infect people. All this other stuff, you know, all the things that we think we own. You know, that's where the attack will be on. It won't be on like, hey, if you don't take the vaccine, we'll kill you. It won't be that. It will be more subtle than that. But like, my focus is in that, because if this virus is out there, which it probably is in some way or form, also there's a vaccine. How do we combat this stuff? It's through love. It's through unifying. It's through educating each other. It's through growing. It's through looking at how we get to violence within each other, because that is still an issue. We can't point fingers outside unless we're doing work inside.
And in times like this, how do you keep that motivation? I mean, right now it's hard to stay that kind of positive.
You know what's kept me people. You know, like, people are so, I've connected with some of my old school friends, and it's just so magical to reconnect and know that the journey, like, I've been reflecting on the journey so much, because death makes you do that naturally anyway. And you just think, like, I just think to myself, I'm so grateful for such a beautiful life and had such beautiful people. And I've come from such an authentic space. So working in different arenas and at different levels in different hierarchies, you realize that, like, at a lot of the top levels, there's a lack of authenticity, and that the lower levels, in terms of like money wise, not to say there is any high or low, but in terms of money wise, when you're at the like ground level where poverty is, there's a lot more authenticity, I believe, in some arenas. But when it comes to the street stuff, there is not, like, it's like being in a rich arena. You know, everyone's trying, crabs in a bucket, basically. But I guess, like, so having like such great and authentic people, and growing up in Leighton, where we had really, like, we had just a special group of connection, and a lot of my group that I was around, they're all very powerful people in a sense of like their hearts and their knowledge. And so we've been looking at that, like, you know, speaking about what is the truth. Let's pose questions to each other. How do we build up ourselves, our mental well-being? So what are we eating? You know, how are we protecting ourselves if there's this 5G out there? What are we doing to like encourage nourishment within ourselves, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually? So there's these different elements, and I have different communities that I'm tapped into. And it's like, for me, it's that, wow, if I'm feeling this, like, I should be down and out statistically through all that I've been through, you know, being in care, growing with abuse, trauma, all that stuff. But somehow I'm still going, and had loads of deaths. And then I guess it's because we attach to a lot of things that are not really important in life. the important thing is you. And the best experience that you give yourself, the external experience will start to match up to how you treat yourself.
Yeah,
so
compassion starts with yourself, man.
There you go.
Compassion will start
if you ain't got self-compassion, then how the hell are you going to have compassion for anyone else? It's not possible.
And
so
sorry,
go on.
No,
I was saying, so it makes sense that you stop pointing fingers, because you know when you do this, you've got three fingers pointing back at yourself. So it's like,
when you say that, that's why people point like that now. Oh, I'm just joking.
Yeah,
I'm chatting.
That's why. This is why. This is why when they do this, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Something in it, as we know, because there's all magic in this stuff. But when you do this,
yes,
like,
yeah.
But so for me, it's like, be it just consciously recognizing, like, okay, where do I need to improve in myself? If I'm going to try and free people of themselves, then I need to free myself of further layers. And knowing that I know it all, and be a student of life and discover.
So I guess with yourself, this is something I wanted to lead into. So tell us a bit more about yourself, kind of your origin story, and how you came to be what you are now and what you've been through, if you don't mind.
So just to be clear, I'm a human. Like, so I've been through a massive amount of trauma. Growing up in a care system, being abused in care, seeing all sorts of stuff before I went into care with my mum, being abused as well, and then being stabbed up, having friends killed, countless different traumas, having suicidal thoughts, all sorts of things. But all of that is teachers to me. It's all been a bit of a learning process, not a nice one, but it's useful. And so I've done a lot of work on myself through experiences. So I've gone through lots of experiences and thought, oh yeah, I'm going to try and help this person. And I realized I need to help myself. So it's been a bit.
Just as we get to the key info, his internet wants to play up. Internet's cut. Hold on. Having some technical difficulties. It's not me though. Can everybody see me? I hope so. Because internet seems to have cut. Okay, he's left. He'll be back in a second. His internet seems to have cut. But yeah, bear with me for a minute. I hope we're all enjoying this lovely weather. And I hope everybody's well. And please follow. It's his network. Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was mine, but no, if it's his, he'll be back shortly. And please do follow us, Spiela, on the Instagram. We do lots of really cool QAs. If you look at some of our IG stories on our YouTube, we have lots of cool, influential people. We're a community network, building communities, working with communities, and providing opportunities. So yes, please do follow their Instagram, and of course we follow back. But let's get Jay back. Let's get him back in there. There we are. There he is. Okay. Okay. Go live. All right. It's coming back now. All right. It's just connecting.
Yeah. Can you hear me though?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for the thing to load. I hope it doesn't start again. That silly issue.
Mad.
No, but let's wait, because it did work before. I know you logged off. Your friend logged off of your account.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can hear you just fine. It's still saying connecting, but yeah, I can't see your face. Can you see mine?
Yeah, I see yours.
This is so annoying. All right. Well, I guess we can carry on. Just talking a bit. I mean, do you know how you got it working before?
I don't know. Literally, I just told him that, like,
you just
and then he
just started working.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, everybody's coming in as well. Maybe we start the live. Yeah. All right. We'll give it a minute. If not, we're gonna restart live, because I guess everybody else can't see you either. I'm guessing based on everyone's reactions. Hold on. Give me a minute. We might have to restart this live. Bro, your internet's mad. All right. He's left. He's come back on. If it doesn't work, then we're gonna go again. What's going on? Hi, everybody. Again, please do follow Spiela. Please do follow us. We're gonna try go again live. We'll start again. If it doesn't work, then we'll go again. All right. Oh, saying connecting again, but it's not sharing again.
Yeah.
All right, let me try to invite you. Let's see if that works. Let me try and invite you. Stay in here. Stay in here, but let me try. All right. Sorry, guys, we're having some technical difficulties. Okay. All right, I sent you a request. Try to accept that request to see if that works. If not, I'm going to have to end it and start again. All right. Oh, got some stuff in my... all right. Okay. Seems to be having some technical difficulties. I'm going to have to start again. That's very annoying. Okay. All right. Let me start again. I keep saying let me start again. I don't really want to start again, but let me start again.